Joe Hopkins here. How you guys doing today, right? I hope you're doing better than me. The cold weather has arrived, and with it, the consequential seasonal allergies for me. Anyway, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is, many of you that watch my channel, most of you probably, are musicians, predominantly guitarists. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. I believe you guys should record and release music. The reason why is it's fun. It's never been easier. It's never been cheaper. We are living in a day and age of really good, inexpensive instruments, which I review a lot on this channel, and inexpensive, accessible recording equipment so that you can have your own studio, and inexpensive, accessible ways to release your music, whether it's on YouTube. I do that. Or if you release it on streaming or have CDs made. I mean, people don't really buy CDs anymore. People don't listen to CDs. They stream music. My wife and I released several albums years ago where we printed off CDs. We went through CD Baby. I don't know if I would recommend them now. I'd go with somebody like DistroKid, right? But CD Baby, you can link to disc makers and make up CDs. That's the way we did it, and put our stuff on streaming. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I think the songs were good. If I were doing them now, I think I could record them better, right? And produce them better. I've learned a lot since then. But regardless, I still make music and release it on YouTube, and I'm planning on putting an album out on streaming. But you guys should do that. Not only should you do that, I suspect a lot of you guys have tried that, have done that. And the first part of this video, here, I'm going to recommend, I don't know how many of you will do this, but I would love it if you could share your music. Put a link to it in the comments, right? And if you guys watching this, any of you want to hear some good music, go down and check out the comments. See if there's any new stuff. See if anybody actually did it. I'm sure some of you guys have some really good songs. Or if you know somebody who has really good songs, here's your chance, man. Put it in the comments. I don't have a big channel, but, you know, I would like to help people share their music in the limited way I can, because I dig it. I'd also like to listen to it, honestly. Just like I put out my music on this channel. And if you look at my songs, you know, look at the view counts, they're not my most popular videos. But making music is something I love to do, so I do it, even if it doesn't make me much money. Most of them make 7 cents, 9 cents. It's not much, but I do it for the love of it. I imagine when I release an album, which I've been planning to do for a while, if I can get to finishing it up, right, mixing and whatnot, then it probably also won't do that well, but it's fun to do, right? I'm planning on using DistroKid myself, I think, because it's inexpensive. And you know, I've heard good, I've heard bad, but overall, the bad seems to apply to people that are really popular, having problems, you know, with how much money they get from it, or taxes, or something like that. I'm not popular enough to worry about it, so I'm going to give it a shot. But anyway, you guys should do that. You guys should record something, and if you have, share it. If you know people who've recorded stuff, share it, man. Have them share it. Let's check out each other's music, okay? I think that would be fun. The other thing is, part of this video, part 2, is simply encouraging you guys to do it, because I know there are certain hurdles for a lot of musicians, and I want to go over that and see if I can help you clear those hurdles. First of all, is most of the people that watch my channel are guitarists, right? So you probably have a guitar. If you buy a decent recording package, you can plug your guitar into your computer and use amp sims, even if you don't have a really good amp, even if you just have a practice amp or some junk, right? Or if you don't want to buy the microphones to mic your amp properly, or it doesn't matter. Amp sims. I love amp sims. They take up no space. And a lot of good ones are free or come with your DAW, depending on what DAW you get. And then there's, you know, vocals. Most of your recording packages come with a pretty decent microphone. I bought PreSonus. I've heard people talk bad about PreSonus mics and preamps, and I haven't had any problem with it. It works fine. I have ordered a new microphone. I'm going to give it a try, but I do like my PreSonus. I think it's an M5. I bought it like 10 years ago, and I like it a lot. So one of the hurdles guitarists go through is other instruments, right? And today's technology can help you solve that. First of all, a lot of us aren't drummers. I can play the drums a bit, but I don't practice much because I don't have a drum kit. They're expensive, they take up space. I certainly don't have the equipment to record a drum kit, which can be expensive and take up space. But these days we have wonderful things like MIDI and drum loops and, you know, all sorts of different ways to work around that, especially MIDI. I love MIDI because you can program all your drum fills and do all that cool stuff. It's really nice. You can make it sound relatively realistic. And I've heard people complain about how, well, it doesn't sound the same as real drums. Well, thank you very much for the obvious. Real drums are real drums, but some of us aren't drummers, can't afford drums, don't have room for drums. One of those electric drum kits is pretty nice because you can hook it up to MIDI and still actually play it if you're a drummer and if you can afford the electronic drum kit, which are also expensive and take up space. Space I don't have, money I don't have. Okay, there you go. But MIDI lets you do a lot of that stuff, and a lot of DAWs come with MIDI drums. PreSonus comes with Impact, right? Studio One has Impact drums, and they're pretty good. I bought the metal kit because it has like a lot of high gain amp sims, and it came with a metal drum kit, which I like. It's the metal kit. And it sounds good, not just for metal, for a lot of stuff. It's just a good sounding kit, but it comes with drum kits. You can get things like there's like Easy Drummer, and there's some other, you know, drum MIDI things you could get, and they're all pretty good. And there's no shame in using them. I will not MIDI shame. I will not MIDI shame anybody. The other great thing about MIDI is keyboard sounds. Even if you don't play the piano, you don't play a keyboard instrument, you can go in and with just a basic knowledge of music theory, program stuff in MIDI. And all DAWs come with MIDI capabilities, and they're pretty good. Right now, the free DAWs don't come with a lot of stuff or anything usually, but if you buy if you buy a recording package like PreSonus or a lot of the others, it comes with like a mid-tier recording package thing with the DAW. It comes with like compressors and reverb and all the production stuff, and usually some MIDI stuff. Or there's a lot of free plugins out there, a ton of them. But you can program it in or buy an inexpensive keyboard. I have a M Audio 88 key keyboard. It wasn't expensive, but my first one was a Radio Shack keyboard. My wife got at the Goodwill for 20 bucks. But it has a MIDI plug, right? One of those little 61 key, whatever. But it has a MIDI plug, so I can make it sound like anything I want on the computer. And you can too. It's not expensive and it's not hard to do. And you can learn just enough. I'm not a pianist by any means, but I've learned just enough to kind of make it do what I want, you know? And if it doesn't quite do what you want, you can fix it in MIDI. You don't have to play in time. You don't have to be that good. You can fix it later. Another thing that us guitarists run into, bass. First thing I bought when we started recording was a bass guitar because I didn't have one, and you kind of need one. But that's not that big a hurdle for us guitarists. One, it's an excuse to buy another guitar, right? And two, if you play guitar, you can play bass. You might not be the most proficient bassist, but you don't have to be. And a lot of big name musicians weren't that proficient when they started out. You know what I mean? All you have to be able to do is play along with yourself relatively well. And keep in mind, if the stuff isn't spectacular when you're done, if it's not the greatest, it doesn't have to be. You're doing this for the fun of it. You're doing this just to put it out there. You're not expecting hordes of fans to show up the day after you release something. But it is fun. And it makes you a lot better at your craft, at playing music. You learn how to play in time. You learn how to play along with a beat or a metronome or a click track. You start learning how to put everything together. You start learning, rhythm parts, lead parts, what the bass actually does, which sometimes isn't what you think. How to put together a song, and it's a lot of fun. And even if you're not the best vocalist, you don't have to be. You don't always have to be. Things like Melodyne are pretty cheap, and you can fix how bad you are to a degree. I've gone over that before, to a degree. Or you could just keep practicing the song until you get good enough to do a relatively good recording of it. You don't have to be brilliant, is what I'm saying. You just have to have fun doing it and share it in some way and see if your friends like it. You know what I mean? Put it out there. What's the worst that happens? Nobody likes it? Well, nobody's heard it now. No, hey man, no chances taken. You can't lose, but you can't win, right? Hey, the only way you never win is if you don't play. The only way you never lose is if you don't play. But play, give it a shot. You have nothing to lose, really. And I'd like to hear what you guys do. So that's my little rant on that. And my request to share your music here. Have your friends share their music here. I'm not just pushing for, my view count, more watches of my video. I am a little bit. All right, I'll admit it. A little bit of self-promotion. Yes, have all your friends watch my video and share their stuff. But also, I would like to hear what's out there. I really enjoy that kind of thing. And here at the end, check out my songs, right? There's an end screen. There's a playlist, a songs playlist. The playlists come up in the corner. There's a reviews playlist if you're looking for budget instruments, and there's a songs playlist. You can listen to what I've done, and I'll listen to what you've done. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. I love you guys. Peace out, baby. Bye-bye.